Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Today we're going to make some delicious mushroom risotto, and I think you're going to love it, so stay tuned. Now the first thing you want to do to make your risotto is we're going to use a Dutch oven here, and I'm going to put the flame on a medium heat. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and we're going to cook up our mushrooms first. What you want to make sure is that you clean your mushrooms, and these are just white mushrooms that have been sliced. We're going to add about a teaspoon of salt and pepper. Now this is freshly ground pepper. You want to make sure you put a lot of pepper. So at least a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. We're going to cook this on a medium heat for about 8 minutes. Okay, my mushrooms are done, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out. And let me use I'm going to use a slotted spoon right here. Perfect. Now I'm going to add another 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Let that heat up just a bit. We're going to be adding our onions. This is our onions. Now, how much onion did I use? I had 1 large, very large yellow onion, and I used about half of it. All right, so this is half of a very large yellow onion. In fact, I'll show you the other half of it so you can see how big that onion was. So, I did not use a whole. I only used half because it was very large. We're going to cook our onions up for about 8 minutes too, approximately. And I'm going to be adding some sea salt to this. This is going to be about 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt, and we're going to add some pepper. So let me cook this up for about 8 minutes, and then we'll be back. So we're cooking our onions on the low to medium heat for about 8 minutes. Then we're going to add our garlic and our thyme and basil. We're also going to add white wine. We're actually using a Riesling wine. We're going to be using 2/3 of a cup. We're going to let that cook down, the wine, and then we'll be adding 4 cups of chicken broth. And of course, we'll be adding our rice. Now, the kind of rice you use for risotto is important. Let me show you. So this is the kind of rice you need to use for your risotto. It's arborio rice. This is the Lundberg Family Farms brand. And this is important. Risotto is an Italian technique for cooking arborio, but it says that this is a rich, creamy, medium grain, and it's very versatile. But these are the short little grain. You don't want to use the long, let's say jasmine rice, the long grain. You want to use the short because it's going to be creamier that way. So this is the kind of rice you need to use for your risotto. Okay, so our onions are coming along nicely. I'm going to add now, we have just a couple more minutes for it to cook, but I'm going to add now the garlic. I'm using 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Going to mix that in there with the onion. Very important. I love the way onion and garlic smells together. Oh, so good. We're also going to add our ½ teaspoon of fresh thyme leaves. And our basil. That was 1 teaspoon of basil. Mix that in there well. Nice. It smells good. Perfect. Okay, next we're adding 2/3 cup of Riesling white wine. There's 1/3. And it could be any white wine you want. We're going to let that cook on a low to medium and let that wine cook down. Okay, so it's been about 2 to 3 minutes. The wine is cooked down, it's fine. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our spinach, which is approximately 2 cups of spinach. I'm also adding about a ½ cup of frozen peas. So we're going to just mix that together with the onion. That spinach will cook down. So we're going to let this cook on a low to medium heat for around maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, let's take a look. Yep, it's cooked down really nicely. Give that a nice stir. All right, here we go. So now we're going to start making the risotto. So we want to add 4 cups of chicken broth. You can also use vegetable broth, 2, 3, 4. And give that a nice stir. Okay, so we're just gonna let that cook just a little bit, heat up that chicken broth. We want to do it for about 3 minutes. I'm going to add a little more salt. If your chicken broth is not salted, it's probably when you want to add a little bit more salt. I'm using sea salt there. We're also going to add a little pepper. We're going to be using 1 cup of that rice, okay? Once again, arborio rice, very important for your risotto, okay? Short grain, actually this is medium grain. And we're going to add that to it. Give that a stir in there. I'm going to keep stirring just a little bit. I'm going to put the lid on. We're going to let this cook, but we want to stir it every so often for about 15 minutes. Okay, let's take a look at our risotto. It's looking good. We're going to be adding the mushrooms the last 5 minutes of it to cook. So I'm going to let this cook for 15 minutes, but then another 5 minutes we're going to be putting in those mushrooms. All right, and we're also going to be adding a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. So it's going to be very creamy, very yummy. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes or so. I'll take this off right now. We're going to add the mushrooms. And then we're going to put the lid back on and let it cook for another 5 minutes or so. Give that a nice stir. Yum. Put the lid back on, let that cook for another 5 minutes. Now this has maybe another couple of minutes to go. So I'm just adding 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to give that a stir in there, mix that in there. My lid back on. You want to make sure the lid is on tightly. Okay, so last step, what we're going to do is we're going to add our Parmesan cheese. This is our Parmesan cheese. I'm doing 1/2 cup. And we're going to just mix that in there, and it's going to be very creamy. Look at that. Look how awesome that looks. Let that cook for a couple more minutes. Okay, let's take a look at our risotto now. It should be done. Looks good, smells great. Let's give it a taste. Mmm. 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 Really good. Mmm. Really good. Mmm. I think it needs just a little bit more salt and maybe a little bit more pepper. But it has a great taste, very yummy. And this is going to go great with our scallops. Yum. Mmm. Perfect. So look at my beautiful risotto. I'm so excited. I'm going to get some Parmesan cheese here and just sprinkle a little bit on top. Make it look pretty. And a little parsley. Oh, yum. Risotto. So good. Okay, and now our taste test. Cannot wait. Mmm. Mmm. All right. Very good. Mmm. Mmm. This is going to go great with our scallops. Thank you so much for joining us on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas today. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, happy healthy living and happy Easter. Bye-bye.